Panicked, sweating, trembling, you hide among the fern underbrush in a forest of ancient pines. Your ears are fixed to every sway of a branch, every scuttling of the small forest creatures. You twitch in anxious flight, for the master of chase is after you. Ungodly howls echo through the valley, your heart thrashes against your ribcage, your lips begin quivering. You peer through a break amongst the fronds and you see a grotto emanating a soft violet glow. You ask yourself if that is your way out, but your mind is muddled by the choir of lichen growls encroaching. The grotto is your only option. The orange light of the moon lit the path, marked by stone megaliths endowed with sacred bone fixtures. 1, 2, 3, go! You burst from the safety of the ferns, barreling towards your only hope as the wind carries the cries of unfulfilled appetite. You pass each stone in quick succession as your fleeting glances to the side are met by the yellow eyes of ravenous manhounds, their teeth gore-filled. You give it all you've got, leaping and dodging from the waves of gnashing maws. You are moments from the grotto. Preemptive relief washes over you, but too soon, as a swiping claw catches you in the gut, cutting half an inch deep from navel to rib. Reeling, desperate and terrified, you keep sprinting, limping, and slide into the entrance of the grotto. The steep decline carries you to the cavern below, and there it is, the door, just like the one that brought you here. The beasts scramble into the entrance, about to corner their prey, but you throw yourself through the portal with reckless abandon. The magical gate spews you out into a familiar forest as the magic washes over you. Tamriel, you are home. Suddenly behind you, a figure follows you out. Wounded and gasping for air, you witness the huntsman himself, a humanoid figure with the head of a fallen stag. It is here you make peace with your gods. You know that you are finished. Hircine stakes his spear in the ground and grips his chest as you look on, uncertain of what is to come. But then, you begin to hear the sickening tearing of flesh as you watch his sinewy arms pull at his skin, peeling off his own hide in some stomach-turning ritual. You can only look on, drained and stupefied. The Lord of the Hunt stands there, crimson and exposed, body steaming in the cool breeze, with one hand holding the skin he wore only moments ago. Your prize, he says, as he approaches and wraps his skin around you. You do not protest. The skin of a god embraces you. Its warmth is oddly comforting. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Saviour's Hide. Welcome to FudgeMuppet, my name is Scott, and today I wanted to give you a deep dive into the Saviour's Hide, probably the most reputable of Hircine's artifacts. If you were wondering, that little story I made up is not just a slice of fanfiction, but was meant to give you a vivid description to one of the artifact's coolest origins. In the book Tamrielic Lore by Yagrum Bagan, it says this about the Saviour's Hide. Another of Hircine's artifacts was the cuirass of Saviour's Hide. The cuirass has the specific ability to resist magicka. Legend has it that Hircine rewarded this peeled hide to the first and only mortal to have ever escaped his hunting grounds. This unknown mortal had his hide tailored into this magical cuirass for his future adventures. The Saviour's Hide has a tendency to travel from hero to hero as though it has a mind of its own. Personally, I think this is the gnarliest origin story for the artifact, and it represents Hircine perfectly. The Daedric prince is known to be quite the sportsman, and when he is outwitted or bested, he is known to concede and congratulate the skilled individual who did so. I also think thematically him pulling off his own skin to gift as a prize is really cool, just as a hunter would seek the hides of their kill. However, this tale is actually one of various tales about the relic's origins. There is another that says Hircine simply made the Saviour's Hide himself from the hide of a werewolf. This is similar to how it is acquired in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Hircine tasks you with slaying Sinding, the werewolf in Bloated Man's Grotto. After you succeed where many hunters fail, you carve the skin of the cursed beast and bring it to Hircine as requested.
You've done well, hunter, and found my favor. That skin will serve you well, child. Look more closely at it. My glory shall protect you from all this world's grievances. Good hunting.
So I guess there is a precedent of a werewolf's hide used in its creation, but as I said, there are various stories, and interestingly, there is one that does not involve Hircine as its craftsman. The book Harvest's End by Talmarog Kerr tells of the exploits and studies of the master sorcerer Chimir Grajan. On the page, it says this about the Saviour's hide. Created by the Daedra Lord Malakath, this armor has the marvelous property of turning the blow of an oathbreaker. Chimir tricked Dagon into swearing an oath against the powers which he had no intention of keeping. The hide of the Saviour turned Dagon's titanic fury long enough for Chimir to deliver his own attack, an incantation invoked upon Dagon's protonymic, i.e. incantory true name. Unfortunately, like many of Malakath's gifts, the armor is a mixed blessing. It also makes its wearer exceptionally vulnerable to magical attacks, so one should only wear it for particular occasions. It's an interesting idea that this legendary Daedric relic could have been crafted by Malakath, the god of orcs and outcasts, though this kind of arrangement is not unheard of. It so happens that Daedric artifacts are sometimes shared or taken by other princes who did not originally create them. For example, the Ring of Khajiit was originally owned by Mephala, and despite the fact it was stolen by Regin, she has been known to award the ring to her champions. However, in the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, it is actually the Daedric prince Meridia who is in possession of the ring, and she gifts it to her champion. Another example would be when Mephala essentially commissioned the threads of the web spinner to be created by the Daedric prince of debauchery, Sanguine. In fact, another of Hircine's artifacts, one that he is known to wield, was actually created by the Daedric prince of destruction, Mehrunes Dagon. This particular artifact is the Spear of Bitter Mercy. So it's not unheard of for Daedric princes to possess artifacts made by other princes. However, there are some inconsistencies with Chimir's writings on the hide. He says, the armor is a mixed blessing. It also makes its wearer exceptionally vulnerable to magical attacks. But this is simply not true. In fact, it's entirely the opposite. The Saviour's hide is known for its magical resistance. In the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, it possessed a 60% buff to magic resistance. In the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, it possessed a 25% magic resistance, and in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, it possessed a 15% magic resistance in addition to a 50% resistance to poison. Magic resistance has been the one constant throughout all the games, so I'm undecided whether or not this story by Chimir loses credibility because of this error. I mean, it is possible that he just got this particular detail wrong, but perhaps he was still right in saying that it was an artifact made by Malakath. Personally though, I think the idea that Hircine peeled off his own hide to gift to a mortal is a far more captivating origin story, but ultimately, I don't think we'll ever get to the truth of the matter, nor does it necessarily matter, because what is known is that this is a legendary artifact gifted by Hircine to his favoured champions. Let's have a look at some other examples of its long history. In the year 389 of the Third Era, a hero known as the Apprentice played a crucial role in thwarting the Daedric invasion of the Battlespire. He assembled the Saviour's hide and used it as a powerful protection when he fought Mehrunes Dagon. Decades later, year 427 of the Third Era, during the events of the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, the Saviour's hide was in the possession of Dyvaith Fear, a powerful Telvanni wizard over 4,000 years old. He, in particular, was a purveyor of Daedric artifacts, and he counted the Saviour's hide among his collection, though the Nerevarine would manage to acquire the item from him. You see, strangely, Dyvaith Fear liked to watch thieves and adventurers try and steal the artifacts from his dungeon, and he would outright say that they could, but only if his corpus patience remained unharmed. I guess finding fresh entertainment gets hard after 4,000 years of existence. But anyways, the Nerevarine acquires the piece, yet 6 years later the hero of Kvatch, or champion of Cyrodiil, whichever name you prefer, essentially the protagonist of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, acquires the Saviour's hide directly from Hircine himself by undertaking a particular task. When the hero of Kvatch found Hircine's shrine in the Great Forest south of the Imperial City, they brought the pelt of a hunted creature and offered it before the Lord of the Hunt.
Summoned my prey, the hare crouches before the fox's muzzle. Perhaps I should task you, mortal, sent you to hunt for my amusement. In Arcane Grove is a quarry worthy the chase. First named, last tamed. The unicorn runs wild there. Bring me this creature's horn, mortal, if you dare.
But as it turns out, the hero of Kvatch did dare, and they did enter Hircine Grove, and they did slay the unicorn and its 3 Minotaur guardians. With the unicorn's horn pried from the creature's skull, the hero returned to the shrine of Hircine and knelt before it.
Yes, Hunter, make your offering. Did you taste its flesh and drink its blood? Never waste the spoils of a kill. You've pleased me, Hunter. Take my token and wear it well. Hereafter, take your prey and whisper my name.
And so the hero of Kvatch came into possession of the Saviour's hide. Over 200 years later, like I mentioned before, the last Dragonborn may have slain Sinding, and Hircine takes the lichen skin and fashions it into the Saviour's hide. An awesome looking piece of armor, best suited to female characters, in my humble opinion. It's also the perfect accoutrement for a Reachman Forsworn themed character, or perhaps a follower of the Green Pact like our Bosma Pathfinder build. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Saviour's hide. The peeled skin of a god, fashioned into a powerful artifact of sacred protection. Thank you so much for watching the video. Personally, I've really been enjoying writing these deep dives on the Daedric artifacts, and if you haven't seen the others, do check them out on the channel. Like the video if you love yourself some Daedric artifacts, subscribe for more Elder Scrolls lore. My name is Scott from FudgeMuppet, and I'll be back to nerd out with you again next time.